Hello and welcome to another edition of Convict Inc. Putting 3 videos together back to back. That's why I'm staying in my black shirt, just changing my hats. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. Eating grapes, drinking lime water, which is foul, and eating oatmeal. Guess my wife wants me on a diet. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you like this video, please push the like button. And if you want to share it, share it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm doing all 3 today. It's about Building 63. As many of you know by now, if you're watching these, Building 63 is one of the oldest special housing units inside Leavenworth. It is alleged that the Birdman of Alcatraz, which is really the Birdman of Leavenworth, lived there for 20-something years, I think it was, however long, I forgot. As a matter of fact, I actually saw a cell that people were saying in the back that Birdman lived there. Prior to me going into 63 and being housed there, I was in general population, and one day I was out at CMS trying to cop some dope, and from a CMS worker, and he said, why don't you go to Building 63 with us? I'd never been inside 63. And couldn't believe how big these cells were. Huge, huge party cells, man. 3 bunks, although I would not like 6 guys in a cell with me. And it was just, that's when my friend Timmy showed me a cell that they said was the Birdman of Alcatraz. As a matter of fact, he had 2 cells. They gave him like 2 cells from what I understand. And they showed me where like the cell had been bricked up where it used to be. I don't know if it's true or not. I just remember Timmy bringing me there and showing me that. Summer of 2002, members of the Dirty White Boys and affiliates found ourselves being sent from the special housing unit, or the SHU, or the hole, to Building 63. We had known that Building 63 was being opened up because the warden at the time, Warden Mickey Ray, was locking too many people up for too long a period of time. He implemented an 18-month SHU policy. So before you can be transferred, you had to stay in the SHU 18 months, or the region did, or he was behind it somehow, I was told, or he said. And it just clogged up the system. Too many guys were in the SHU. Plus, they send all the DC prisoners, or 400 DC prisoners, basically overnight to Leavenworth, which they had originally thought was going to cause black and white issues. It did not. It caused black on black issues more than anything else. Anyway, we were in the special housing unit, and one day they told all the Dirty White Boys and our associates to pack up. We're going to 63. There was PC cases in there and us, which set the tone for how we behaved over the next months until they eventually moved us back. They got tired of us causing so much problems. I have now made videos about throwing feces about Building 63, and inside 63, we threw feces on CO White. We made a swimming pool in a cell / created a major flood. We beat up Cub. We beat up Sean. What else was it? The flood. What was my first one today? Darn. Oh, man. Oh, mate, we made a key. Man, there's actually more. I've just thought of some more now. This one is about starting fires. Note to anybody who goes to prison: very stupid to start a fire where you live. You guys ever seen pictures of prisoners rioting, or from the outside, and you see smoke going up, and you're like, what idiots? Why would these idiots light themselves on fire? Create a situation where they're going to choke to death on smoke. You know, I don't know. When you're in there, it's totally different. Because I remember, I think there was a riot in Iowa. There was something I watched on TV as a prisoner, and I'm like, what morons? Yeah, well, anyway. We stayed drunk and on drugs in 63. I got Tylenol 3 times a day. I got gabapentin or Neurontin and baclofen One's basically a nerve relaxer, one's basically a muscle relaxer. And we were taking hands full of these pills every day. So we were just whacked out of our mind. We didn't care about what staff had to say. We didn't care about our cells being cleaned up. We made hammocks out of laundry bags. Hammocks that we were swinging in. These are long cells now, long enough for 4 guys single file to do burpees. 5 guys total were doing burpees at one time, I remember. That's how long these cells are. Long, huge. Well, when you're in there, it gets smaller, but they're really big compared to any other cells. We made punching bags, heavy bags out of books, blankets, and mattress covers, the plastic mattress covers. Made wine constantly, like I said. Well, the orderlies were protective custody cases. One day, when the Liars Club was doing their walk, the Liars Club, that is, every Wednesday in every prison, within the Bureau of Prisons, the executive staff, which normally includes the warden, associate warden or wardens, case managers, all the top executive staff, does a walk in the special housing units, and they just lie to you. Because usually guys in special housing units want to know where their disciplinary or shot is, when they're going to be transferred, how they can send money out. They haven't got mail. They've got a lot of complaints. Plus, when you're in there and you're bored, you just want to kind of F with the staff anyway, so you can kind of make stuff up. Or there might be a pretty girl. That happens if there's a pretty woman. You just kind of want to make her stop. And a lot of times, guys would stop, like if we're 2 guys on different sides of the tier and there was no wall in between, you want to stop the girl just to look at her behind. It's just what happens in prison. When the executive staff was walking one Wednesday morning, out of nowhere you heard, and there was a black orderly, and our brothers next door, No-Nos, Billy, and 2 others who I cannot remember. It's crazy, I can't remember them. I'm gonna have to look at my notes, my book somewhere. Saw an orderly and got into it with him and grabbed his arm through the bars. There's a bean slot in these doors. They're bars with mesh, but there's a bean, and broke his arm through the door, right in front of the executive staff, right in front of the executive staff. I don't know what that was over, but that gave us an idea to rob one of the orderlies. The guy's name was Black. He was black. He was a check-in, and he had a watch that was very, very valuable. And we attempted to snatch his hand through the door and steal his watch, but he was too smart and he didn't go for it. Other orderlies, if they didn't do what we said, again, we looked down on them all. We felt superior to them because they were PC cases, they were sex offenders, they were check-ins, they were the less desirables on the compound, whatever, guys that needed protective custody. So when you're not a protective custody case, but you're living in a protective custody unit because staff made you there, you're bitter, you hate everybody else that's not a good guy, all the PC cases. So one day, we find out that this white orderly, who was actually pretty cool, and one of my bros was running around with when he was in general population, hanging around with, was actually a sex offender. I forgot the details of the case, and I forgot even how we found out. But we decided, I think I decided this, I don't remember, because usually I was the one that was more extreme because of my life sentence. There was periods in my life when I would say, okay, I'm going to earn this life sentence, and I think this was one. That's why the key thing I think I did, I forgot. I want to say that I remember I threw the first thing. We got this guy close and he saw that something wasn't right. But what we ended up doing was we got t-shirts. We had matches and we can create fire. through there's lots of ways to create fire. And this guy was walking, and I had a shirt lit with a little like broom handle or stick, or I don't remember what it was. And I took it and I threw it, like literally trying to light this guy on fire. Again, at that time in my life, I really didn't care. I thought it was justifiable. It hit the back of his jumpsuit, but he didn't go poof like we wanted him to. And he ran away screaming. And at that time, the rest behind me was just like, they're going to come, they're going to mess with us, this and that. So we just kept lighting t-shirts on fire. And then the next thing you know is, I'm not going to put his name out there. He threw it, and there was a ceiling, and it was one of these drop ceilings that's like, I don't even know what the material is, but there was a hole in, like a panel of the drop ceiling was missing. So the fireball was thrown and went up into the ceiling and caught fire. And man, the smoke that started coming out. And I'm going to tell you. So they rushed with the fire extinguisher, and we lit it up again. And I don't know why. I don't even know why they didn't just come and beat the hell out of us or try. They didn't even come in our cell. But we lit a bunch of fires, and we had a hard time. And it's already over 100 degrees at nighttime. And it all started because that sex offender, and I was going to light him on fire. Man, yeah, it's crazy to think about it now. But I just remember how miserable it was with all that smoke just pouring in there. It was just horrible. And it was so stupid. And again, imagine if I would have lit that guy on fire. Or imagine if we would have got caught for arson. Wow. I mean, I wouldn't be out today. And I keep thinking about that in a lot of these stories that I tell. Just crazy. But we went, and you know what else? That kid, the one that threw the fireball out, I think that we found out he was responsible for stealing one of our contraband packages or something. There was a little more to the story than just that. But yeah, he didn't not burn from the lack of trying. And maybe I shouldn't say this. I got statute of limitations over on that. I wasn't trying to kill him. I don't know what I was trying. Excuse me. Choking on a grape. It's karma. We're lighting people on fire, right? I don't know what I was trying to do. A lot of those times. It's out of my mind. But that happened. Another USP Leavenworth lockdown story. And that happened in Building 63 in the summer of 2002. And that's my last video for the day. I don't know when this is going to be posted. Maybe next week. I'm not sure. I got to also do a live. But man, we're just working on this house. Take care. I hope you did enjoy the story. The climax was kind of like not like the rest though, right? I know. All right.